Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, guys. Welcome to the podcast where we keep everything in context, and this guy always is throwing gang signs. But welcome to the podcast, and today with me I have a great friend of mine, somebody who's very active in the Dava community, and he also runs a couple of businesses here and there, which we'll be talking about. He runs a clothing business, a barber shop, and also what else?
Training,
And training and physical training.
physical
Um,
fitness.
Physical training and physical fitness. That's something that he's going on. He's got going on, and I just want to introduce him to you. And here he is, Mr. Oscar Freeman, my guy. How you doing?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing just
Alhamdulillah.
fine. I'm
Alhamdulillah.
doing as
MashaAllah.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intended me to be.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. I know this guy. I've known this guy for almost a year now. And
Yeah, it's been that long, yeah.
it's and it feels like it's been a lifetime. It feels like it's been a lifetime. It's been absolutely fantastic so far. And welcome to the podcast, Oscar. It's a beautiful day out. It's a beautiful day to be doing a
MashaAllah,
podcast. Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah.
Got your coffee and everything.
Tea.
Yeah. Oh, tea. All right, he's a
Hey,
tea guy.
can't have my heart combust, man. I already had a, I already had a bang,
Mashallah.
bang, bang. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, you be drinking all those bangs, huh? Mashallah.
I gotta stay up, man. I'm getting old.
Yeah. Mashallah. So speaking of age, how old are you?
28, man.
28. Mashallah. Mashallah.
28.
So you're almost as old as me.
Oh, you're almost as old as me.
Potato, potato.
Right?
Mashallah. But
Tomato.
what's going on with your life, man? Well, tell me a little bit about or tell us a little bit about Mo Love and all the businesses that you're running right now.
Okay, well, you can find me on Instagram at MoLove,
Shameless
CO,
plug.
that's MOLOVE_CO.
You don't gotta spell it out. I'll leave it down in the description for them.
But I am Sir Freeman, that's my personal account. Check that out. We have MoLove Training and we have MoLove Trims and Cuts. Go and check all four of those zones out. Those zones are where you get zoned in, you dig? But those are my businesses. You know, it's all falling under the category and frames of image consulting, and bettering your personal view of yourself. You know, getting you to your highest status of confidence.
All
You
right.
understand?
All
In
right.
essence, giving yourself more love,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
that you can give the world more love.
Mashallah.
Right?
I totally agree with that because I get my cuts from him, and I definitely feel all of that right after, bro.
Right.
You make me fresh, bro.
Right.
That's for sure. But so Mo Love is a clothing brand, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
It's just a brand in whole. It's a brand in whole. It's a brand in whole, and the clothing kind of brings it all together. You know, because we have all different types of clothing. We have all different categories of apparel. Like we have female fitness clothing. We have men fitness clothing. We have urban wear. We have and sooner or later when we get a good manufacturer, excuse me, we're going to be able to get into casual ballroom and stuff like that, because I'm always looking to go for the most for the most, let's say, prestigious
Hmm.
of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the brand. It's a brand in whole, and the apparel, the clothing that brings it all together.
Mashallah, mashallah. What was the idea behind it? What motivated you to start the brand itself?
Oh man, that's a big one. So man, I'm just gonna get deep with you because you're my boy.
Yeah.
You know, we on the podcast. You know, and
Which I appreciate.
yeah, man, yeah, I might as well give people the juice. You know what I mean? Ain't no juice like sweet juice. Anyway,
Facts.
you know, but a year ago, let's say about a year and a half ago now, since it's almost December, I lost a lot of people in my life.
To
You
COVID.
know, not only to COVID, bro, but due to due to death, betrayal, and just growing apart.
Mm.
You understand
Life
what I'm
being
saying?
life.
Just life. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I found myself in a very dark place, man. You understand what I mean? I found myself in a situation where I definitely felt the lack of love in my life. Now, and me me lacking that love, it was hard for me to actually provide love for those who needed it within my environment, like my little brothers. You know what I'm saying? My sister, my twin, my mother. You know, we lost my father last year around this time, around
Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi
and
raji'un.
ya illa lillahi wa illa ilayhi raji'un. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on his soul.
Ameen.
Inshallah, tabarakallah.
Ameen. And may
Ameen.
Allah guide your family as well.
Ameen.
May Allah
Ameen.
guide all of us, inshallah.
Ameen. And so like I also lost my other sister through the heart problems. You know what I'm saying? And so I was betrayed by somebody who I love dearly, who we started a lot of stuff together. And you know, I refused I refused to let that belittle or take away, shall I say, from my ability to show love and to manifest happiness within other people's life.
Wow.
You understand? So I had to figure out a way that would keep me true to this love, to this spreading love. And so I came up with more love.
Wow.
Right. And I've thought about rebranding it. I've thought about rebranding it a few times. You know, but Free D Love was another name that I was
Yeah.
thinking about.
Yeah.
But
But I think more love just resonates
it
with,
just
at least with
resonates.
me. You know,
Yeah,
it definitely resonates with me.
exactly. You
The
know,
name itself.
especially with the amount of love that is being stripped from the world right now
Mm.
due to the due to the hyper rates of independency, people believing that there's independency, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's one thing that I want. Here's one thing that I found out.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as independence.
Mm.
You understand? And this is what makes us as humans so social because we're not only social with one another, we're social with our environment. We're social with Mother Earth. We're social with everything around us. And us being social with everything around us and being in communication with everything around us, in essence, we cannot be independent. You understand? We're interdependent. And
What do you mean by that?
interdependent means that you you provide for something as much as that something provides for you.
Mm.
Or that's not even correct. That's not even correct.
Mm-hmm.
Interdependency means that you rely on something that you rely on something and something relies on you. Not
Yeah.
equally, but
In some way or
in
form.
some way or form.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We all need each other to survive.
Right. Because at the end of the day, we are
Yeah,
social animals,
exactly.
and we
Like a
are animals.
person,
Yeah.
just like me, I have three businesses, right?
Yeah.
Some people will say, "Oh, he's independent."
Mm-hmm.
I'm not independent.
Yeah.
I'm interdependent on the people who buy and use my services.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Without them, I'm nothing.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? We're interdependent on the trees,
Yeah.
and the trees are interdependent on us to fertilize their soil, to fertilize their soil
Yeah.
with the nutritions
Subhanallah.
that they need.
Yeah.
And we're interdependent on the trees that produce us oxygen.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're interdependent on the sun,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and the sun is interdependent on something else in the cosmos. And
Yeah.
so on. There's no such thing as independency.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
understand? That's a false ideology.
That's an interesting way to look at life. But you talked about how you got out of, how you got a lot of bad, and you were able to turn it into good. And that takes a lot of willpower, and I speak with experience as well. But what's the motivation behind that willpower? What keeps you going?
Bro, what keeps me going is the fact that I know that I need to keep going.
Why?
If you don't keep going, you stop. And if you stop, you just die.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You have to, as long as you're living, as
Mm-hmm.
long as you're breathing, you have to fight.
Yeah.
My father always taught me, bro, to fight.
Mm-hmm.
If he didn't teach me anything, he taught me to fight.
Wow.
He taught me how to be a warrior. Matter of fact, my name means warrior.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And so I don't believe in giving up, bro. I don't believe in giving up. If 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 I don't have any other if I don't have any other inspiration to keep going, The fact that I'm breathing is inspiration, bro.
Mashallah. That's amazing. So I know that you're working with ICNA, I believe, ICNA,
Why Islam?
Y Islam, and all those guys. So what's the situation with the dawah right now? How are you taking this? How are you taking up the greater Seattle area and everything?
Okay, so Why Islam? Our mission with Why Islam is to be a household name, to have everybody and have every person in, or at least one person in each household to know the name Why Islam.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
not only know the name Why Islam, but know our purpose, know our mission.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So like our current mission is just to get in every house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you know what Why Islam is, you'll start to ask why Islam,
Right.
right? And the
Yeah.
question why Islam is going to lead you to a whole bunch of things.
Right, definitely. Yeah. So, have you been working with any other organizations at the moment to work towards spreading the word of Allah subhanahu wa
Yeah,
ta'ala?
man. Shout out Uplift Dawa. Shout out the MSA of the University of Washington. Shout out the MSA of the Bellevue University. We're trying to get together to get Dr. Sabil out here so he can give us a cool little coaching, cool
Hmm.
little training on how to approach
Yeah.
Dawa
Oh
in
wow,
a
that's fantastic.
right in a way that's not so generic but
Mm,
more authentic. Because as I was telling my brothers, my fellow Dawis, a lot of people don't believe in God nowadays.
mm,
So the way that we used to particularly go about it, like, oh, why Jesus in Islam? Why Moses in Islam?
yeah,
Why Suleiman in Islam? Abraham? These people don't even believe these guys existed.
yeah,
You understand what I'm saying? The majority of people in America, in the Western world, they're not even religious. Most of these guys, they're actually occultists. They
yeah.
worship the terrain that we walk on. They worship Earth, or they worship the universe,
Mm,
or they think that they're God. You
wow.
understand what I'm saying? And if
Yeah.
they don't do that, if they don't think that they're God,
Hmm.
they don't believe in their God. They don't believe that there's any form of God. They don't
Yeah.
believe that there's any force outside of the creation. And
Hmm.
so the thing is first proving that there is a necessary force or a necessary existence that fosters and sustains our existence.
How do you mean that? Could you like elaborate a little bit on that? Because
Yeah, so like what we need to do first is get them guys on the common ground that there is a necessary existence, and
right.
that necessary existence is God, which is the creator outside of the creation.
Mm. Wow, that's a fantastic mission. And I hope Allah puts barakah in there, and I
Inshallah,
hope
I mean,
Allah
I
makes you
mean,
allows you to succeed, inshallah.
I mean,
We've talked a little bit about your businesses and what you've been working on. I kind of the last thing I want to talk about is that oh, so your physical training part of your business, right? Uh, what is that looking like? What's your routine in the gym, and what's your routine with your customer? How do you build that routine? Are you giving out any nutrition advice? What's going on with that?
right. So, I've been training for 5 years.
Hmm.
I've been personal training for 5 years, man. I have lots of good results.
Hmm.
My personal routine is wake up in the morning.
Hmm.
I try to make it to the gym before Fajr, but if I don't
Mashallah.
make it before Fajr, I go after Fajr. And
Okay.
I'm always in the gym for about 4 hours at a time.
Dang.
Yeah, and a lot of people say, "Oh, that's overkill. That's overkill. That's overkill."
Like me, I would say
Yeah,
that's a workout.
I just don't believe that, bro. I'm
Yeah.
getting I'm getting outrageous gains. You
Mm.
understand what I'm saying? I'm increasing my strength every week. You
Hmm.
understand what I mean?
Hmm.
And there's so many muscles and there's so many different muscles in the group. There's no way that you're going to hit them all in just an hour.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? And so like your pectoral, let's just talk about your pectoral,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So you have three parts of your pectoral, three main parts of your pectoral.
Hmm.
And then those three parts, they have three parts.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? And so like you think that you're going to be able to actually effectively
Mm.
hit all nine all nine parts of your pectoral
In an
and your
hour.
tricep,
Yeah.
and your tricep has nine parts as well. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? You think you're gonna
Wow.
be able to hit all 18 of those muscles
Yeah.
effectively in just an hour and a half?
Hmm.
I would beg to differ and say you couldn't. You
Probably
understand what
not.
I'm
I
saying?
would say
Yeah.
probably not
And this
either.
is why I feel like it takes so long for people to actually see an increase.
Mm.
And
Because they're taking it too slow.
they're doing it a little bit too slow. And
Right.
I don't believe in like long rest periods.
Hmm.
I'm in there for 4 hours getting it, bro.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
And is that once per day?
This is a most of the time it's twice a day,
Dang.
but sometimes I do it. But sometimes like you gotta give your body some sort of rest.
Right.
You understand what I mean? But like let's look at it like this:
Hmm.
if we were back in days without infrastructure,
Yeah.
bro, we would be working strenuously a whole day long.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It wouldn't just be 8 hours a day.
So
You
you're
understand
trying
what I'm
to
saying?
emulate that.
Sort of,
Mm.
sort of. And this is just me. This is not what I put my. This is not what I put my clients on. This
Right,
is not what I put
which
my.
was gonna be my next question is
Right.
that, depending on the goal of the client, is that what you implement on them as
So
well?
depending on the goal of the client, as we all know, that there's three different body types, and then there's ways to calculate the
The
body
BMI,
mass and stuff
yeah,
like that with the IBM. And,
yeah,
that's cool. That's super cool special stuff, right?
yeah. But I feel like that's also more related to nutrition rather than actual physical training, don't you think?
Nah, I feel like that's all that's just physique. So
Okay.
when we no no fit nutrition is all about nutrition is like gut knowledge, right?
Mm.
That's it's culinary knowledge and gut knowledge,
Mhm.
all right?
Mhm.
But physique wise, you have to know what type body somebody is.
Right.
You have to know how much they weigh, and you have to
Mhm.
know how much body fat that they have, so that we can get them to the exact goal that they want.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? And so like say you came to me
Yeah.
as a client and you were like, I want to gain 10 pounds of lean muscle.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And you said, I want to gain that within 5 months,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? I said, well, this is how you do it. You understand what I'm saying? First, let's figure out what you're probably ectomorphic,
Yeah.
right? And
Which
so,
which
which
means.
means that your metabolism is very fast.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? If I'm correct, I'm pretty sure I'm correct.
About me?
Yeah,
So
no, I'm talking about ectomorphic. So
okay.
your metabolism is very fast, and it's not as easy for you to gain muscle. So what
Mm.
we do is we put you on a high protein diet.
Yeah.
You understand? You have to eat more protein. You have to eat more calories. Period.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? You have to be in the gym for about an hour, or 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Five to 6 days a week.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
understand what I mean? And you have to be and I'll put you on for the first 2 to 3 weeks. You'll be on like the same routine,
Yeah.
and then because what happens is a lot of people's body they plateau, and
Mhm.
they'll stop gaining weight, or they'll
Mm.
stop gaining strength.
Yeah.
And so what you need to do is you need to shock the muscle, and so you change it up a little bit
Yeah.
where you're hitting the same muscle groups, but you're hitting it with a different movement.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So instead of pull downs, you're doing kickbacks,
Okay.
or instead of pullovers, you're
Yeah.
doing skull crushers. You
Okay.
understand what I'm saying?
So
And
so
so like
pull and push, that's where the variance lies, right? Pull and push. Is that where the variance lies in the movements?
no, it just changes the range of motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said you put some of your clients on a high protein diet. Is that so? From what I understand, your body actually does not store any protein in the form of protein, right? So once your body gets the protein that it requires, which which depends on the amount of strain basically that you're putting on your muscles, and that protein is used to build up that muscle back again, right? So the excess protein is just gonna get wasted, or it might turn into a different sort of enzyme. So why would you want to put somebody on a high protein diet knowing that it may not be of any use to them if they're not going to the gym, say 5 to 6 times a week? Let's say they're slacking and they're
Yeah.
going only like four times
Yeah.
a week.
That's a good point. You wouldn't have them, that you can't have them doing that because their body will not. digest it correctly.
Yeah.
They won't be able to take the nutrients if they're not doing if they're not doing such strenuous work.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
another reason why I do 4 hours, because I need to rip and tear these muscles enough
Yeah.
so that I can intake all of this protein that all this protein that I'm consuming.
Mm.
You understand what I'm
So on
saying,
average, how much protein would you say you're consuming in a day?
bro?
Like per grams or percentage
Man,
of
I
your
would
total
say
diet?
probably like, and hey man, this is just me.
Yeah,
200 grams, bro.
200 grams
Yeah,
per day.
per day.
Dang. And that's based on how many calorie diet?
I have no idea. I don't count. I don't count my. I don't. I really do not count my calories, bro.
Yeah.
I
So,
just eat.
and that's how you do it, bro. You're just gonna eat.
I
But
just eat.
how do you keep track of your meals? Like, what is there? Would you like aim for something specific in a meal, or do you literally just eat what you get?
Me right now, completely honest.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of time to do
Uh-huh.
all the meal prep and stuff like that. So I eat what I can eat. I eat what I can eat, and I make sure that it's the healthiest that I can touch.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Like last night, I had 4 burgers, right?
Dang.
Right, but
I bet you didn't put any cheese in there, huh?
I did actually.
Oh, really?
I did because I needed the calories.
Okay.
You understand what I'm
Okay.
saying? I needed the calories, but there was lamb burgers.
Hmm. And I know this is a bit of an inside joke, so some of you might not have gotten that. But the reason I asked Oscar why if he put cheese in there or not, leads to
I hate dairy.
my next question. Yes, he hates dairy.
I hate dairy
Why do you hate dairy?
because it's gross. Man.
Okay, but counter question. Isn't dairy Allah's creation as well? How can you hate Allah's
Everything is a
creation?
lost creation. Crack
Yeah.
cocaine is Allah's creation.
I'm pretty sure people came up with that stuff, but okay, I guess I get your point. Which, by the way, will lead me to my next podcast, which is based on a similar question. So stay tuned for that. Um, but yeah, since we're talking about your personal life and we've moved on from the businesses, I did want to talk to you about your story, your revert, right? And you moved from Christianity to Islam. And I just wanted to know, like, what was that one factor, that like, or I want to know the story behind that.
Whew. Man,
Is it getting hot?
that's a deep one, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I'm turning into Chef Oscar now. You know.
He's going into shake mode. Dang. Okay.
So yeah, man. You know, the easiest way for me to say this is there's 3 parts, and it's such a long story, bro, that it's kind of hard for me to like coherently
Mm-hmm.
put it together and to put it together for to where it's a coherent
Yeah.
and digestible. You
Wow.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Give me the short one.
so I can give you a short one, man. So I've always knew that there was some bit of, not to disrespect Christianity,
Mhm.
because we're not supposed to disrespect any other religion
Yeah.
within Islam.
Yeah.
But I always knew, from my point of view and my understanding, even growing up, and the things that I saw as a child, I knew that there was some fraudulence within this existence
Mhm.
and the religion that I was being raised in. All right, there was some sort of fraudulence
So
going on.
I know you say fraudulence probably because you start reading it, right? You start reading the
Right.
Bible. When was it when you started
But
reading the Bible?
it wasn't only because I started reading the Bible.
Mhm.
Things just didn't add up. My very first recollection, my very first memory, bro, was clouds in a vortex. You understand? So like I used to tell my mom this. I was like, I remember me coming from the clouds, right? I used to
Okay.
tell my mother this. I remember me coming from the clouds, and then there was like bright lights and
Mhm.
blurry people were grabbing at me.
Right.
My mom used to always say that was my birth. You understand what I'm saying? That was God putting your soul into the
Or
body.
maybe you got abducted
You
by
understand?
aliens or
Or maybe I got inducted by
something.
aliens when I was a baby. You know what I'm saying?
You never
You
know.
never know. But That was my earliest recollection as a child. You understand what I'm saying?
Where did you get that recollection from? Is that like something that
This is
was?
something that I would talk about when I was a child, bro. My mom used to tell me about this, and like I would always think about it. I would
Yeah.
always think about that dream that I had. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It was a dream, or it actually happened.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But it's the most memorable. It was the most memorable part of my adolescence.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And on top of that, I always knew that there was things that existed other than us humans,
Mhm.
and everything, and the things within this dimension. My toys used to move. You understand what I'm saying? And so, like, Toy Story,
Yeah.
bruh,
Bro, I've been waiting my whole life for my toys to move,
bruh.
just so I
When I
could
was a
be.
kid, bro, when I
Yeah.
was a kid, I used to play with my toys, and my toys used to play with me back. And I
Dang.
remember somebody was like, well, wouldn't you call that imagination? I was like, I would call it imagination if I was imagining it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I remember I had I had a Power Ranger toy,
Mhm.
and he used to like do these like poses,
Yeah.
right? And then when somebody would walk in the room, he would drop on the floor, and I would get mad, like
Dang.
man, you know what I'm saying? Look what you did. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, man, they be like, my mom be like, what is your problem? I was
Yeah.
playing with my toys. You know what I'm saying? You mad because I'm interrupting you playing with my toys? Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, they was playing with me back. You know what I'm saying? We was having a good time. You know what I mean? and
Uh-huh.
so like, and so like, I also had an imaginary friend,
Mhm.
right? And and this is just when I was younger, bro. And then I remember my mother telling me that Jesus was the Son of God, and then
Oh,
all of
okay.
us are sons. All of us are children of God. And so I was
Oh,
like, oh, so Jesus is our brother.
yeah.
This is me. This is me at a young age asking my mother questions. Oh, so Jesus is our brother. Well, yeah. So we're gods. No, we're not gods. Jesus is God. Well, how is Jesus our brother and he's a god and we ain't gods?
Yeah.
Aren't we demigods or something? I can't be Hercules? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Well, you surely look like him now. So you got that going for you, huh?
Like I can't be Hercules, right? Yeah, I guess couldn't, but it didn't make sense, right? And so when I first got arrested at the age of 16, I was tried as an adult,
Mm.
and that's when I actually started like researching what the Bible was, and I read the Bible from front to back. I thought I read it incorrectly, so I read the dictionary from
Mm.
front to back. And
Mhm.
then after I got done from reading the dictionary from front to back, I went back to the Bible and read that from front to back again, right? And
Mm.
so I was like, oh, no, I wasn't tripping. This says what it says. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It does say that your God is not a man
Mm.
that he shall lie, nor a son that he shall repent. And I remember reading in the New Testament that he was asking for repentance. Jesus was praying. He was crying.
Yeah.
He was calling out to God. You know what I'm saying? He was calling out to a God. He also said that I am not the good one, for there was one above me. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And what I understood God to be was the all powerful.
Yeah.
Now, if there was one above Jesus,
Then he's not all
he's not
powerful.
all powerful.
Yeah.
So it just didn't make sense to me. You
Mm.
understand what I'm saying? And it never, and it still don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
You understand? And so I was trying to hold on to a faith because I knew that there was an existence of God, right? And so what had happened was I went and just went through a lot of different religions. I started reading about uh the not the Nation of Islam, but like the 5%ers. The 5%ers, they have this ideology that there's 85% of people
Yeah.
who are like sheeple. There's 10% of the people who are there's 10% of people who have the these people, they have the ability to create, and
Mm.
they monetize their creations. You understand what I'm saying? And
Okay.
these people effectively rule the world. But then there's 5% of people who
Yeah.
just sit on the side and they observe and they let everybody else know what the heck is going on.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? And these people, they use the ideologies of Islam. You understand? And so like I thought this was it for a second. I thought that was it. And so I followed that deeply for a while. And then I was like, well, these guys are tripping because they think that we're God. They think that they're gods. You understand what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then I got into the Nation of Islam. Nation of Islam kind of was talking about the same thing, that God is a man. And you know what I'm saying? Like I told you, bro, I've already had an idea. I already had an idea that God's not man. So I went to a lot of different sects of Islam. I found that there was a whole bunch of different sects of Islam, the Nation of the Gods and Moons. You understand?
Well, which one did you stumble upon the first?
5% Nation.
Wait, so okay, wait. So 5% Nation is also like
It's a sect of Islam.
it's a sect of Islam?
Yeah.
Oh wow, how'd you find that, bro? I've never
Well,
even read upon that.
well,
I never even knew about that.
African American, bro. So like African Americans, we are very into Islam, especially the brothers and sisters that's on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I mean? And I think we bred a lot of sections of Islam. You understand what I mean? A lot of branch off ideologies of what Islam originally was,
Mm.
right? And so I found out about it from a brother named Quincy. Uh, Actually, I was a dope boy, so like I was selling a lot of dope. I was selling weed and stuff like that, and you know, this is a long time ago, so you know the feds don't come
Alhamdulillah.
knocking now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But but yeah, I met a brother named Q, and he kind of introduced me to all this, and he also introduced me to like world history. You understand what I'm saying? And so I started reading a lot about world history, about who the Africans really were. The Africans weren't actually Africans; they were Archebulonians. You understand what I'm saying? Not only were they Archebulonians, they were Ethiops,
So
and so
Kabylonians are.
Archebulonians are like ancient Africans.
Where did they like originate from and all that stuff?
But Africa, bro.
Mm.
So everybody know what Pangea is,
Right,
right? So Pangea,
like the supercontinent,
the
right?
supercontinent,
Yeah.
yeah, right. And then when everything started breaking off, there was that section that we know as Africa.
Mm-hmm.
It was called El Kepulon.
Mm.
You understand? And so as as time progressed, you understand what I'm saying? It turned into Ethiopia,
Yeah.
and you know, and as we know that Ethiopia is still the only place in Africa, only
Yeah.
country in Africa that has not been like colonized. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? Or conquered.
Right.
You understand what I mean? So I learned a lot about all this stuff. I learned a lot about the Moors. I learned a lot about Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
Egypt, ancient Kemet. That's what Egypt was called. Kemet. Kemet
Right.
means the blackest. You understand what I'm saying? So
Mm.
the Egyptians that we know now, they're not the original Egyptians. The Jewish people that we know now, they're not the original Jew. That's
Mm-hmm.
why they're Jewish. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
Kind of ish.
They're kind of
There's ish.
Jewish. You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? They have
Yeah.
they have the culture, but they also demented it.
Yeah. Always wondered why there was an ish at the end.
Yeah, because they ain't the real ones, bro.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
So yeah, the original Jews, from what I understand, was like the Bani Israel,
Bani
like the
Israel.
people that
Yeah,
are talked about in
exactly.
the Book of
Yeah,
Islam, Quran.
exactly.
Um.
And you remember the description of Musa alayhi salam,
Yeah.
right? And Musa alayhi salam, the description of him was, well, he was what, one of the blackest of the prophets,
Mm-hmm.
one of the darkest of the prophets, right? Peace be upon them all. And so if we look at the Jewish people now, there's no way.
They white, bro.
You know
They hecka
what I'm saying?
white.
There's no way that they could have even bred a dark person.
Yeah.
They're all blue eyed. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? The majority of them guys are blue eyed, blonde
Mm-hmm.
hair, or ginger hair,
So
right?
where these guys come from? Because I know there's a lot of Palestinians as well, who don't look like Palestinians anymore. In fact, I was with a sheikh last night, and he was originally from Palestine, and he looked like a white boy.
Right.
So
Bro,
shout out to Sheikh Umar.
man, you know all that stuff, bro. I don't know, man.
Mm,
I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't tell you the truth about none of that. I can't tell you. I can't even remember. I can't even remember. I know I did the studying back
yeah.
then, but I don't remember how these guys came about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So what was it that from all of this, what do you think was that one factor that really started your path and guidance?
Bro, this is it. And I was like, okay, this is just all confusing, man.
Yeah.
So like, what happened was I just started asking God, like, man, send me to the straight path, bro. Just if you exist,
Yeah.
show me.
Wow.
You feel me? Or like
Yeah.
I remember like that was my only prayer for years, bro.
Mm.
Was give me the truth.
Yeah.
I would pray to the Almighty One. I would call him the Almighty One, Almighty God.
You didn't know
I
you
didn't know
were
who it
calling
was.
to,
You
but you were
understand what I'm
calling
saying?
to
Yeah.
somebody.
And I knew it existed because I knew that demons were real. Like I told you, I had like the demons that accompanied me even when I was a child.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? And like I've seen them when I was on drugs, bro. Like I would see them. You understand when they would come to me as people who I knew,
Hmm. Wow.
as people who I knew, and then I turn around and they be gone. You understand what I'm saying? And like I thought I was actually talking to a person. You know what I mean? And,
Hmm.
I remember in the Quran it says that Shaitan will come to you as people who you know, but names that you cannot recall.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And so like when I read that in the Quran, like it all just started connecting.
Yeah.
You know. But I was asking Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, like, just send me to the right path. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Because like I don't see that time
Yeah.
there was no point in me living. I was always on a suicide mission, bro. I was always fighting somebody. I was always getting into like, bro, man, shootouts, all type of stuff. You know
Dang.
what I'm saying, bro? Like I was really like trying to end my life. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like there's been many times that I've even attempted suicide.
Hmm.
You understand what I mean? And like I remember one time I tried to. I remember one time I was in the house, bro, and I pulled the gun. I pulled my gun out, and I tried to blast my brains out. Didn't happen though. You understand what I'm saying? The gun jammed in my mouth. The
Subhanallah.
gun jammed in my mouth. You understand what I'm saying? Then the next day,
Yeah.
got into it with somebody and started yamming at him, and this thing was just toe 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 toe. You know what I'm saying? So it
Wow.
worked, but that night it didn't. You understand what I'm saying,
Subhanallah.
bro? So like,
Allah is verily the best of planners.
it's very the best of planners,
Yeah.
man. And so like I said, bro, I went to Montana. I got in trouble again, and then got in trouble again, and then they released me, and so I went on the run for about a year and a half
But why'd you run after you were
because I was
released?
not trying to go back to jail. I was not trying to go back to prison, bro. I spent a long time in prison, and I was tired of prison at that time, right?
Hmm.
But I went to Montana for a second, came back to Washington for my
Mm-hmm.
mother's birthday, and when I was in Montana, I had a dream that I would get arrested if I come back to. But I just like it's
It's
just
his
a
dream.
dream. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I came back, got arrested the same way I was arrested in the dream, bro. You understand what I'm
Dang.
saying?
Did you get into a fight the second time around, or like, why'd you get arrested?
Because they were looking for me. I was on the run, so I had a warrant out for my arrest.
Hmm.
You understand? And yeah, so I got into it with the cops, bro. The cops pulled my car broke down, right? My car broke down on the side of the road. I'm kind of handy with a wrench, so I got underneath my hood and started trying to fix the problem.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing I hear is,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, bro, you guys ain't got nothing better to do but to like, pull up behind people whose cars is broken down, bro. Like,
Yeah.
what's up?
I feel like they were trying to help, but
Man,
yeah,
nah, they wasn't
again.
trying to help because they was like, "Oh yeah, you're under arrest." That's the only thing they said. They
Wait,
didn't say,
really? They just walked up to you
"Yeah,
and they were like,
they
wait,
was like you're
did they
under
have
arrest."
your plates or something? Were you driving the same car? Or like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
well, that's kind of dumb.
The thing is, they're not supposed to run your place without any suspicion.
Suspicion, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? The only suspicion was
Hmm. He's black. Get
exactly.
him. It's probably not even his car.
Get that
Oh my god.
nigga.
But some of these cops, they're nice sometimes, um, but only sometimes. Like maybe
Yeah,
like 2% of the time, I would say, um,
yeah.
and that's probably like an oversave.
Yeah, man. But long story short, man, this time I got arrested. I got into I was like I said, I was into magic and stuff like that as well. And so
Hmm.
we practiced some magic, and
Or like
I
dark
started
magic,
coming.
like
It's
black magic.
dark magic, like Ouija boards and stuff like that. And I came even more and more, um, more and more. I had more and more encounters with the shaitan.
Mm.
And so like this was like if there's a force of absolute evil, bro, there has to be a force of absolute purity.
Yeah,
You understand what I'm saying?
yeah, yin and yang.
That yin and yang, bro.
Yeah.
Is the law of the cosmos.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? And so a couple months go by while I was in jail. Right, this is before I got shipped off to prison,
Hmm.
and I met a brother named Muhammad. Brother Muhammad,
In prison.
Yeah,
Okay.
he had a lot of questions for me and my beliefs. You know what I'm saying? At this point in time, I believed that I was God. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
I
wow.
believed that I ruled my
In
own
prison.
destiny. Yeah, and stuff like that, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
God's in captivity, right? Ain't that some stuff, huh?
If anything that can keep God inside is
Bruh,
American prisons. How about that?
ain't that some stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, America's so strong they can imprison their God. Ain't that some stuff,
Astaghfirullah.
bruh? Stuff for Allah.
Okay, so
So
yeah.
he gave me the Quran. Like I said, I went through a lot of studies, through a lot of religions, a lot of ideologies,
Mhm.
like astrology, quantum physics, and psychology and stuff like that. Buddhism, chakras, all that.
Yeah.
All this stuff is in the Quran.
Subhanallah.
All this stuff is in the Quran, and you may not notice it because a lot of people don't know about the chakras. A lot of people don't know about meditating. A lot of people don't know about the realm between this dimension and the next.
Yeah.
They don't know about that stuff. They don't know about astral projecting. They don't know about lucid dreams and stuff
Yeah.
like that. They don't know about entities that exist in different dimensions but can slip into ours. You
Mm.
understand what I'm saying? That's the barzak. You understand? Like when you see a jinn or when you see a jinn or something like that, they're slipping through a portal.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? They're coming through a portal. And this is what the Quran talks about this. You
Mm.
understand what I'm saying? And so does like magic and all this other good stuff and all that other stuff. It tells you all about this stuff. And so I read it and it was like shooting fireworks off in my mind. And I was like, yo, this is what I've been asking
Yeah.
God for.
Yeah.
I've been asking God for this. And it felt like God was talking to me.
Mm.
So long story short, I accepted Islam, man. And now
Subhanallah.
I'm here.
Allahu Akbar. That's
Takbir, man.
fantastic.
Takbir.
Yeah,
Allah
Allahu
Akbar.
Akbar. That's definitely a motivational story. Because it really shows you the miracles of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala and the miracles of Islam. Because I know that most of those experiences, or in fact, probably all of those experiences are true. Not only because they're coming from you, because I've had some of them happen with me as well. For example, when I'm making dawah or anything, or I'm talking about somebody, I'm just trying to spread the message. It's so usually what I'll do is I'll hand somebody the Quran, or I'll grab the Quran and I'll riffle through the pages, and I'll ask the other person to stop wherever they want to, or like ask them to just riffle through the pages and stop at the page they want to stop at and just read any verse off of that.
Yeah.
And 100% of the time, literally 100% of the time, Oscar, they go to the page that is required, to the verse that is required for that specific moment,
Mm-hmm.
and it suits so well. And I don't know if this is because the whole Quran literally suits for every situation because it's the Quran, it's full of wisdom, or if it's literally just like a miracle because this happens every single time, man, and it's just beautiful to see that. But that's just fantastic, man. It's amazing to finally know your story a little bit in detail. So I know you were talking about chakras and all that stuff, and we're almost done with this, so I'm not gonna keep you any longer after this. But you're talking about chakras and all that stuff. Is that anything to do with like with your soul, your mind, and your body? Are those your chakras, or is your chakra like parts of your body that basically connects your spine or something? Is the, like give me a little bit about it because I'm kind of
Chakras
interested in
are
that.
just pockets of energy.
Okay.
All right, they're just pockets of energy that it's hard for us to tap into.
Mhm.
Right, we're electromagnetic beings,
Yeah.
and so these pockets of energy, they kind of heighten our conductivity.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? And it brings us to heightened levels of consciousness.
Mhm.
You understand? And so the lowest one the lowest one is fight or flight. It's survival. The highest
Interesting.
one
Yeah.
is ascension and enlightenment.
Mm.
Right,
So
ascension and
intellectuality, basically.
intellectuality in a sense.
Mm.
You know,
Related to
it
that.
may be it's related to that, but it's a little bit deeper than that. I can't
Mm.
touch on it because I'm not versed on it much no more. You
Mhm.
know, but I do remember that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala said that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala said He revealed through the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
that we are between animals and angels,
Hmm.
right? And we have the ability to be worse than animals, and we have the ability to graduate to better than that of an angel. And the
Subhanallah.
reason, and this is the chakra pool.
Hmm.
If we stay on our lowest level of consciousness, which is
Yeah.
survival,
We're gonna be worse than animals.
breathing, eating,
Sleeping.
sleeping,
Yeah.
everything that pleasures us,
Yeah.
we're worse than the animals.
Subhanallah.
But if we use our free will
Mm-hmm.
and we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we chase intellectuality,
Mm-hmm.
we chase we chase we
Just
chase
pondering.
purpose,
Yeah.
we chase we chase ascension
Mm-hmm.
typically, right? Then we are greater than that of the angels.
Subhanallah.
You understand?
And that's a high rank, bro.
That's a high
I
rank.
feel like
It's a
that's a
very
pretty
high
high
rank.
rank.
That's why
Yeah.
it's called ascension.
Yeah.
You know, because we're ascending,
Mm.
you know, and we're descending.
Mentally and
Yeah, yeah.
spiritually, not actually for those of you who might get a little confused by that, because I know there's some people out there who might hear the word ascension and be like, oh, they're playing like Dungeons and Dragons or something.
Oh man, I never even played that
Or
game.
gargoyles or something, G&G,
Now I
some
seen
stuff
the
like
show
that.
Gargoyles, man. Yeah, shout out Gargoyles, man. Shit.
Yeah. Hey, but I really appreciate you coming out here for the podcast. And I really appreciate you sitting down and sharing your story with me and just spending your time with me. Um, I'm gonna put down his links for all his socials, all his businesses down in the description below. I looked at him because I thought he was throwing gang signs again, because he does do that a lot. But I'm gonna put all of that down there. Go follow him. Go check him out. He's got some reels on there and everything. If you're in the Washington and the greater Seattle area, shout out to Mo Love Cutting and Trims, Cuts and Trims.
Trims and cuts.
Mo Love Trims and Cuts. Get your next haircut from him. He'll literally spice your life up.
Inshallah, if you're in the
Inshallah.
greater Seattle area, I'm
Yeah.
not flying to Chicago.
Unless you pay for his ticket and
Unless you
his
pay for
living
my ticket.
expenses.
The
Yeah.
haircut's definitely worth it though. So if you pay
It
for
is.
it, then
It
it's
definitely
worth it.
is worth it.
You
And
know.
do definitely check out our previous podcast. I did it with Connor and Oscar out here. We did a little podcast on free will. Go check that out. And stay tuned for the next podcast, guys. Thank you for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa
Assalamu
rahmatullah.
alaikum.